anyone ever tried to end your life intentionally? This is going to sound a little odd, but she was my obstetrician and gynecologist. I was pregnant for the second time with my son and went into labor in November of 1995. After laboring for well over 18 hours and finally fully dilating to 10, my labor completely stopped. Long story short, my son was sideways in the birth canal and was stuck. They took me in for an emergency C-section and he was indeed very stuck. So stuck that my cervix tore while they removed him. The doctor had told us about the tear after the surgery, but assured us she sewed it up. Approximately an hour after the surgery we were back in the room. All my family had come and gone, and now it was just my husband and my son and I. I was laying on my back propped up with my knees up holding the baby when my husband looked at me and asked me to put my knees down. When I did what he asked, all of a sudden blood was everywhere. Unbeknownst to us, I was having a postpartum hemorrhage and the way I was sitting with my knees up was keeping the blood pooled inside me. They started massaging my uterus to try and get it to contract to stop the bleeding. They paged the doctor to find out what she wanted to do with no answer. They couldn't stop the bleeding. After several hours trying, while still working on me, the doctor still hadn't come back into the hospital after being paged several times. From that point on I have mostly second-hand information because I blacked out and had no memory for 2 days. The only detail I remember personally was looking over at the door and someone was holding a small igloo cooler which I thought was very weird. It turned out to have the blood in it that they were going to give me. Eventually the doctor came back to the hospital and they took me back up to surgery to try to repair the cervix. I lost 6 liters of blood that night. Your body only holds 8. There's really no reason I am alive other than God was looking down on me and my brand new baby boy needed his mother. The reason I'm answering that she is the most dangerous person that I've ever encountered was that she held my life in her hands, first with the torn cervix, and secondly with the repair. It was her fault for not doing a better job relaying to the nursing staff how precarious things were. Then she didn't come back to the hospital for over 2 hours. It just seemed strange. Before I went back to her for my last checkup, I ended up back in the hospital with a blockage in my kidney. I had lost over 70 pounds in 10 weeks, and was awake maybe 3 hours a day. I had lost all muscle mass in my body and my hair was falling out terribly. I was literally dying a little more every single day until they finally diagnosed me with Sheehan's syndrome. When I finally went in for my final 12-week checkup with the OB-GYN, I told her about the kidney issue. Her response to me was, "Oh, I must have put your bladder back wrong." My jaw literally dropped. I had no idea what to say. I pretty much grabbed my bag and hobbled out of the room in shock. She was just so blasé about everything, including that past 12 weeks when I kept saying there was something wrong with me. I was very stupid because she delivered my first child. A 9-pound baby she claimed turned from head down at 8 a.m. to a breech position at 3 p.m. 9-pound babies don't turn without you feeling or seeing it. She claimed she felt the head at 8 a.m. and I just refused to believe it. Just so many red flags and I beat myself up for a long time for not listening to my gut. Did I take her to court for malpractice? Yes I did, and yes I won. I believe strongly that she did this all on purpose. I wasn't the first malpractice case she had, nor was I the second or even the third, and I wasn't the last. She is still out there practicing today.